Good morning, Grand Rising, my lovely people. I'm back here with another devotional. This one's titled, excuse me, this one's titled Soul Adrenaline and excuse me for how I sound. I got allergies, so check on your friends that got allergies. The anchor text is Hebrews 12:2 and 3. And it says, Jesus both began and finished this race we're in. He never lost sight of where he was headed. That exhilarating finish in and with God. He could put up with anything along the way, cross, shame, whatever. And now he's there in the place of honor, right alongside God. When you find yourselves flagging in your faith, go over that story again. That will shoot adrenaline into your souls. That's the Message version. I'm gonna read the actual NIV version in my Bible real quick because it really blessed me. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinful men, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. And then it goes on to talk about how we should view discipline as a way of, or an indicator for us to know that we are loved by God and we are his children. We are his legitimate children because the Lord disciplines those that he loves, and he punishes everyone who he accepts as his son. And so I had a talk with God last night, and just really being candid and honest. And I started a commitment back in January of this year, and I was honest with God, and I was like, at the time I thought this was your will for me, and I made a hasty decision. Now looking fast forward to now, because it's become one of those things that's just like draining, and I'm starting to lose interest in it, and I really don't want to do it as well as I used to do it. I don't have the drive to continue to do it along with everything else that has been placed in my lap. And I really was just like, I had a thought yesterday. I thought to just close the door and, let it go and just be like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do it no more. But the Lord answered me through my readings, and he basically told me that if you start something, you have to finish it. Like, I have to read it. I read it in another book. It's called this right here. It's a Joyce Meyer book, and it's called In Search of Wisdom, and it's talking about Proverbs. It's going in depth into Proverbs. And I was reading it last night, and sometimes I like to read it while I'm actually going through Proverbs. Let me prop it up real quick. But what I read was, try to see where I found it. Yeah, so it's in chapter 10, but it's talking about Proverbs 10. And it's this portion right here where it says, whoever walks in integrity walks securely. People who have integrity in their hearts and in their actions make decisions that keep them safe. And the path they choose to walk through life leads them to many blessings. Integrity is related to honesty and means a firm adherence to a code or standard of values. I'm going to skip down to the part that really spoke to me. Where is it? You should say what you are going to do and do what you say. To be a person of integrity, you will need to keep your commitments, even if it is inconvenient to do so. If for some valid reason you cannot do what you said you would do, then contact the person to whom you committed. Explain that your commitment was made in haste, and that you should have not obligated yourself to it, or let them know why you cannot keep your commitment at this time. Unforeseen situations do arise and prevent us from doing what we thought and said we would do. But because keeping our word is extremely important, we should never have a casual attitude about being unable to follow through on a commitment. And then it goes down to quote Philippians 1:10, saying that in one of Paul's apostolic prayers for the church, he prays that we will recognize what is excellent and of real value and remain untainted and pure by adhering to the excellent and best things. Being an excellent person is part of walking in integrity. So, mind you, after I read this, my heart is open. I'm talking to God. I'm literally like, Lord, I had a thought yesterday and I don't know if this thought came from you or not. And he answered me through my reading. And he was like, that's basically not what I told you to do. I told you now honestly speaking, I feel like he definitely tried to tell me to wait, but I imposed my own decision over his. And so with that, there comes consequences. Like we don't follow his will, like we suffer those consequences of not following his will. And one of those consequences is discipline. Like he has to discipline us in that manner. But it's not, I shouldn't look at it as he doesn't love me because I'm facing the consequences of decisions and actions that I made hastily. No, it's because he loves me and he's showing me that he loves me through discipline and correction. And so he basically, like I said, he answered me through reading, and it just all tied itself together because, you know, I want to keep enduring. I want to keep having the perseverance to keep going. And sometimes I don't have the energy to do all the tasks that I have or to walk out what I said or what I started. But this definitely spoke to me today, and I hope that it speaks to you all as well. And I'm going to leave y'all with this one verse that really spoke to me. It says in Hebrews 12, verse 7, endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as sons. For what son is not disciplined by his father? Verse 8, if you are not disciplined and everyone undergoes discipline, then you are illegitimate children and not true sons. Moreover, we have all had human fathers who disciplined us, and we respected them for it. How much more should we submit to the Father of our spirits and live? You know what I'm saying? Like it literally don't get no better than that. And we can't sit here and say it's impossible. We can't say that anything is impossible because Jesus did it already. And he ran it all the way through with shame, with being flogged, with being with all types of stuff against them, with all types of stuff against him. And he still remained faithful. He still remained in the Father's will for his life and continued to commit himself and commit his works to what God ordained for him to do. He didn't impose his desires. He allowed God to lead him in every way. And he ran his race from start to finish. And I don't know who that is for, but I know it definitely was for me because I just had this conversation last night, like 10 o'clock last night. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of share that with y'all today, and urge y'all to not give up. I want to urge y'all to keep leaning into God, even when it hurts, even when you don't want to, even when it doesn't make sense, even when you don't feel like praying, or even if you don't feel like reading your Bible. Make time for him. Lean into him because we are strangers here on earth. We don't know how we are supposed to go about life, where to go. God knows exactly where he wants us to be. He already sees the end from the beginning. So he knows how to get us to that end point. But he's not going to give us the whole blueprint of our lives either. He's going to take it one step at a time. And so we have to trust in him and not be so focused on ourselves. That was another part in the book that I was reading that showed that when we go through stuff, we isolate ourselves and we only look in and we don't look out how we can help other people. And it was talking about the poor and the needy Proverbs 19 chapter. Yeah, in chapter 19, it was talking about how we should approach the needy and help the needy, help the poor and needy, because that's considered a loan back to God. And he will reward those who help him, who help those in need. And so we should always be thinking about how we can help others despite what we're going through, because we are considered to be blessings to other people. We should always be mindful of ways that we can help others despite what we're going through. And we may not know how that will in turn help us, but the fact that we're not thinking about ourselves and we're actively working to help other people that we can shows our hearts and our character. And it shows, as Joyce Meyer said in the book, a generous person is a happy person. So with that in mind, I urge y'all to keep running the race that you have set before you. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, because everybody has their own unique race. And you may be going through something right now that is difficult, but it's not the end. You will see the end of it. You will see the other side of it. You will come out on top. You will, because you have God on your side. And Jesus did already. And so there's no reason why you can't. It may not happen in the time that you want, but you have to keep trusting every day, every single day, surrendering yourself, your plans, your desires, everything, surrendering them to God and allowing him to lead you in the way that he desires for you. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, and I'm going to make me some tea. And yeah, I hope y'all have a great day, a blessed Thursday. And remember that I love you, but God loves you more.